Hi, Janet Kingsley here with a question for you today. Why do we argue for our limitations? Well, because I think it's that we have a limited view and we don't see the big picture. So often we act like those six blind men who wanted to know what an elephant was like. They each felt a part of the elephant and they experienced different things. So independently, they thought that the elephant was like a pillar. One thought it was like a rope. Another thought it was like a tree trunk or a large hand fan. And one even thought it was a wall. They argued and argued and argued for their point of view because they didn't see the big picture. So when we make excuses as to why we can't accomplish a goal or learn something new or change a habit, it's because we've become blinded by our limited perception. It is vital for each of us to remain open to possibilities that we may never have considered. I am possibility doctor after all. So it is vital that we continue to learn, to grow, to practice, and to remain open to new ideas and thoughts instead of doggedly gripping onto our biases, judgments, and opinions. Sometimes it's a challenge to think new thoughts because we're so used to thinking the same way. Maybe we've even lost the ability to imagine things as they could be because we're so busy looking at the way things are. These ideas I know are not new to you. How many times have you heard change your thinking, change your life? Or how about this quote from Napoleon Hill? Whatever the mind of man or woman can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So we've heard these things over and over and over again, but do we believe them? I mean, really, really believe them. And if we do believe them, do we then act on them? Or do we act and think the same way that we've always acted and thought? Do we stay in our comfort zone and turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to any new ideas that may help us see ourselves in a new light? And what if, like me, you're sort of not a big picture type of a person? Are you doomed to be stuck inside your limitations and not see the bigger possibilities for your life and for who you are? Not at all. Because as I just said, I'm not really that big picture kind of a person either. I like to be a lot more spontaneous. So if you ask me, Janet, where do you see yourself in 3 years? I have no idea. A lot can happen in 3 years, and I want the option to change my mind and make adjustments again and again and again. I can tell you that I see myself thriving and exploring and growing and learning and being happy. I'm more of a small, inspired step sort of a person. So for me, the goal isn't as important as the joy of the journey. And then I ask myself, is the joy of the journey just an excuse not to dream bigger? And I'll be the first to admit that I may change my mind and make adjustments because I might be stuck in limited thinking myself. And so, by the way, I don't mind sharing my feelings or shortcomings with you. It's important for everybody to know that we all struggle. And if you want somebody perfect to learn from, I can tell you I'm not your gal. Because we all have blind spots in the way that we think, in the way that we believe, and in the way that we perceive. Even me, of course. And our blind spots can be comfortable, but they can also block our forward momentum in living the rich, fulfilling, prosperous, successful, joy-filled, purpose-filled, vibrant life that is meant for us. Those blind spots might just be those limitations that we love to argue for. Sometimes we just need someone to help us clear our vision so that we can make a course correction and be open to those new possibilities. That's why I have a coach. But before I hired a coach, I just did more of the same, only louder and harder. But louder and harder didn't work when my limited thinking was in the way. Sometimes we just need to get some help to get out of our own way. I know I did. So what about you? I say yes to yourself by refusing to continue to argue for your limitations. I'd also like to invite you to visit my webpage and check me out and see what I'm all about at www.janetkingsley.com. You can also follow me on social media, Instagram and Facebook at possibility.doctor. And in the meantime, I am here for you. Rock on.